Let's take another breath. Our theme this month is healing. And my topic today is our part in the healing process. Our part in it. So often I find when we think of healing, we're thinking about external things that are going to be brought in to facilitate something. When we're looking for healing, we're looking for some practitioner, some health professional, some drug, some remedy, some therapy, something that we think we're going to add on. And this external thing that we add on is going to create some kind of intervention, and it's going to shift and change things in another direction. Okay? That's fixing. That's fixing. Okay? It's not quite the same thing as healing. Healing is different. Healing is an inside job. Healing happens from the inside out, not from the outside in. Just sit with that a second. Healing starts with from the inside. See, fixing starts with the idea that there's something broken, that there's something wrong, and that something has to come in and rearrange that and make it right. So in fixing, we go from broken, wrong, to right and functioning. Healing's not like that. Healing is the other way around. Healing starts with the assumption that there's something right. It starts with the assumption that there is something whole. It starts with the assumption that don't just judge by the appearance. That there's something that's here that's waiting to be blossomed. There's something here that's waiting to come forward. There's something here. And here's this difference in the healing. When we're fixing something, not only are we objectifying the remedy or whatever out there and we're trying to bring it in, but we think that somehow we can override or we can do a fix-it that actually wasn't part of the divine design. For example, so last night we had a concert here, and I was the MC, and I did a couple of my own spoken word pieces. We didn't have our normal camera shoot like we do, so I asked somebody to use my iPhone and to videotape. Okay. Now we have this tripod to video with an iPhone, but the top part has broken off. So there were these handheld selfies that we had given to people as gifts. The handheld selfie was strapped to the tripod with duct tape all around. So it could use. It was quite ingenious work of art. Okay? That was fixing. That was fixing. And a lot of times we try to duct tape stuff to our lives. Stuff that doesn't even necessarily belong there, but it works. It makes it functional. Just think about it now. Come on, be real. Haven't you tried to duct tape your relationships, duct tape your finances? Duct tape a lot of stuff together. And it got by. We did the workaround. It actually was like kind of functional. But that's not healing. See, healing starts with the assumption. It starts with the assumption that what I see is not the last word. Just breathe that in for a moment. Healing requires that we look beyond the appearances. It requires that we look beyond what we see. It doesn't mean ignore what you see. It doesn't mean try to pretend like what you see isn't there. It's look beyond it. So let's say, for example, if we have a kid that's acting up or acting out, we could just look at that behavior. And in our fixing mode, we lock them up. We take them out of society, or we put them in some special school or some camp or this or that, and we impose all this, like, I'm going to fix you. Or at least I'm going to protect everybody else from you and put you over here. See, that's not healing. Healing is looking at the kid, seeing that behavior, but seeing there's a kid beyond the behavior. Understanding that they're not the behavior, that the behavior is a symptom, the behavior is a cry. Catch that. The behavior is a cry. It's a cry that says, I'm hurting inside. There's something else that's going on. And what are we going to pay attention to? Are we going to pay attention to the symptoms that something has become out of alignment? Are we going to hear the depth of the cry underneath that says there's something good in me, there's something that I can't reach, there's something that I can't touch, help me? I don't care whether the cry is coming from your arthritic knee, whether it's coming from the ballot box. If we just fixate on what we see and judge it, we're going to miss it. Every spiritual tradition says don't do that. Whether it's called Maya or illusion. Don't judge by the appearances in Christianity. A lot of native First Nations in the Americas would call it the coyote, the trickster. This idea of like a shapeshifter. There's something out there and you can focus your attention on it, but if you give that all of your attention, you're gonna miss it. That there's something beyond it. So our part in healing has to be our willingness to suspend our judgment about what we're looking at. To suspend our judgment about it. It's not to say that it's not there, but naming it as, oh, this is the ruin of my life. Oh, poor me. You know, why did this happen? This is unjust. This is unfair. Like all of those things, if we just get stuck in that, there's not a bigger victory. There's not a bigger victory because there's a bigger story. See, there's a divine design. There is a divine design. There is a divine design. And what healing does is it says, I'm going back to the beginning to try to activate something. If you're healing the body temple, we're not fixing it. We're not fixing it. And I think that's the problem with so many of the Western approaches that we have, is that we're using things that are trying to get at one particular thing without taking the whole into account. So you take this pill because you're depressed, and then you hear 60 seconds worth of disclaimers in the commercial. You're already depressed, may cause suicidal thoughts. You know, tell your doctor if you got a rash, because it may be something, your arm's going to fall off, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and you know, and the voice gets lower, lower, and lower, and suddenly you're dancing in the tulips. But take XYZ, because it's going to make you feel better. That kind of thinking is too much with us. This idea of kind of a collateral damage. That on my way to healing, I can duct tape, I can bring some kind of things into the situation that are going to have all of these really bad, negative side effects, but that's okay. That's okay. It's okay that this group is marginalized because we're trying to do this. It's okay that this part of the family gets ignored because we're trying to do this. You know, it's okay that I can't use my arms anymore because I get to do this. Healing is a wholeness. I want you to feel that. Healing is a wholeness. And our part is the possibility thinking that allows us to see it. Our job in the role of healing is possibility consciousness. Our only responsibility is possibility. Our only responsibility is possibility. That's our only responsibility. You can't get in there in the body temple and make the cells multiply. You can't do it. You can't do it. But the vibration of our thinking, our cells are eavesdropping on all of our conversation. All of it. So the extent to whether we're living in blessing or possibility, it's going to respond. Even when it seems like you, quote unquote, are out, even if you are under anesthesia, they tell the doctors, watch what you say in that operating room. Because they can hear you. They can hear you, and they are responding to you even as you are under the anesthesia. So in good operating rooms, they'll play your favorite music. In good operating rooms, they are doing things that are respecting the fact that your consciousness is forever engaged. Always. So what are your body cells hearing? What are they hearing? Years ago, I saw this email, and it was about these kids. They were 4-year-olds, and they asked them, what is love? And I love this one response. And there's actually a letter in the second volume of my series, Letters from the Infinite, that's based on this one particular thing, called My Name is Safe in Your Mouth. So in this response to what is love, Billy says, when people love you, they say your name different. You know your name is safe in their mouth. When people love you, they say your name different. You know your name is safe in their mouth. Is your name safe in your mouth? Is your name safe in your mouth? Is God's name safe in your mouth? I'm just saying. That's our job in the healing process. Our job is to bring the possibility consciousness. Our job is to speak and to see things in such a way as it's affirming. But catch this now. You got to do it when you don't like it. You got to do it when you don't like it. You have to speak the word of healing in the relationship when you're pissed off, when you're hurt, when you're feeling betrayed or abandoned or angry, resentful, whatever that is. That's the time to shift the energy to the point where you say, I don't see it. I don't get how we're going to get from here to there, but in my heart, I want to. Do you feel that? A desire and an intent. And sometimes when we think we can't have it, we stop wanting it. Because I don't want to experience the sense of disappointment by not getting it. So I stop wanting it. But that's where the healing comes from. The healing comes from the deep desire that elevates itself to intent. So we wind up in this pickle where we're wanting something in the universe to rush in and create a circumstance that I'm too afraid to even admit that I want. I'm wanting something to rush in and make something happen that I'm too unwilling to even claim as a possibility. So we're waiting for the proof. We want to see that it can happen, evidence, so I can show people, so when I say this is what I want, they don't think I'm stupid. They don't think I'm naive for even wanting it. The healing is an inside job. The healing is an activation. Nothing stays the same. Nothing stays the same. Everything is energy. Everything duplicates. Everything reduplicates. History does not repeat itself. We repeat history. History does not repeat itself. We repeat history. The thoughts of yesterday aren't following you around. If you're thinking and feeling the same thing today that you thought and felt yesterday, it's new today. It's just the same. But it's not the old one carried over from yesterday. We have recreated it today. You know, we live here in Santa Cruz, and what used to be the old Bethany Seminary of Assemblies of God out in the Scotts Valley Way was, that property was sold, and some entrepreneurs bought it and have turned it into the 1440 Multiversity, which is becoming now this premier retreat education center for, progressive thinking. 1440 stands for the number of minutes in a day. That's what it stands for. That you have that many times in a day to make a change. You have that many times in a day to think anew. The cells are always recreating themselves. That's why healing is possible. Because at any moment, the way in which they're duplicating can shift and go back to the beginning, go back to their natural pattern, go back to something that is more sustainable. But our job in this is to desire it. Our job in this is to want it. Our job in this is to feel it and to see it and to taste it so that it is more real to us than anything else. I'm being reminded now of this story that Beckwith told us years ago in practitioner training about this holy man who lived in kind of an upper floor across from a park. And he would get up early in the morning and do his meditations. And he was so upset because across the street in the park, there was this homeless man that just camped out there for months and months on end, and nobody would ever do anything about it. And the holy man was just this perfect view, and it's always messed up by this man's garbage and his trash and his drunkenness and all of the rest of that. It just really bothered him. Well, they both die at the same time. The holy man goes to hell, and the homeless man gets into heaven. Holy man ain't happy. Not happy at all. So somehow or another, he's questioning, like, why did all this happen? And why am I the one in hell and he's in heaven? And his answer back was, every day you woke up and saw degradation. And you lived in anger and frustration. Every day he woke up and saw you. He was looking at you every day up at that window, and he wanted nothing more than to be like you. Did he manifest it on the earth plane? No. But that's where his consciousness was. Do you feel like that's where his heart was? The guy who's out there on the streets has his sights in heaven. He has his sights on possibility. So that becomes his living experience internally. Are you with me? First the roots and then the fruits. Don't worry so much about what it's going to look like on the external. You don't know what it's going to look like. We're constantly birthing something. Just like if you're physically pregnant, you have no idea what that baby's going to look like when it comes out. It'll be what it is. And that's the same thing with us. That we are constantly birthing something, but the universe knows what it's doing. So our part in this healing process, as I spoke about last week, is giving consent. It's a willingness. It's a belief. But the belief isn't just in the power of some external thing to intervene. The belief is in the power that whatever you think is off to heal. Feel the difference. If I think this is like fundamentally broken or bad or unworthy, there is not enough external intervention in the world to turn that around for me. Because I've already staked my claim on the fact that this thing is history, it's over. Yes? Think about that in your life. That choice we have to make in healing, to not give up. To not give up on that relationship. To not give up. And what we realize is that the not giving up is don't give up on the people. The relationship may well have to go. I'm just saying. I'm not saying you got to get divorced. But the marriage that you did have, oh, that one's got to go. You can have a new marriage. Oh, put some duct tape on it. But that one's got to go. If anybody's raised kids, you know what I'm talking about. You can't keep having the same relationship. Yes, they are your kids, but you can't have the same relationship with them at 5 and 15 and 25. It's a different relationship. Okay? And if you're busy trying to strangle that, there's always a divine right relationship between all people. There's always a divine right relationship between all people. And if we open up to that, say, what does that look like? What does healing here look like? Maybe it's our body. Love it. The parts that seem to be acting up the most need your most love. It needs the most affirmation. I know that's contrary because we're busy condemning. My bum back. My bad heart. You know, I got a bad heart. You don't want to go there. Oh, you know this cough is killing me. Ooh, you don't want to go there. This son of mine's going to be the death of me yet. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. That's our part. And we try to do everything but our part. We want to have the process. We want to control the timing. We want to do the game plan, all the people who are going to be involved in it, how it's going to unfold, yada, 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 all of that. That's what we try to do. That's not our job. Our job is to create a fertility within ourselves. Our job is to create a receptivity. Our job is to get ourselves beyond no. And even if you can't get into yes, just get into maybe. Really. Just get into maybe. If you can't get into yes. Because that's a step. What spirit needs is some movement. Some movement. When you pray, you're the one that's moving. We think our prayers is influencing some distant deity or something, but your prayer moves you. Your prayer moves us into alignment of being able to see what we couldn't see before. Our prayer moves us into being more in the possibilities so that it recalibrates us and that we can resonate more with what we're trying to manifest. But we've got our foot on the gas and the foot on the brake. I'm praying and disbelieving. I'm praying and I'm disbelieving. And our job in this healing process is the possibility consciousness. Our job is to see it and to taste it and to believe it. And I don't care how bad it looks. The same things that I'm saying on an individual level are true on the larger global level. It's the same healing. Are you in possibility consciousness about politics? Are you in possibility consciousness about politics? Don't lie. No. And I'm not saying this as criticism. As I was talking about last week, that part of healing means taking a fierce inventory of where you are. A fierce inventory. Because you can't move except from where you are. You can't let go of something you don't claim, you ignore that you have. We can't get rid of racism if we keep telling ourselves we're not racist. I'm just saying. It's not to label things as good or bad in the secular kind of way, but just to say you can't heal something if you keep denying that it's there. So this fierce inventory that says, you know what? I've got bias, I've got prejudice. I've got bias, I've got prejudice against my sister. I've got bias, I've got prejudice against my coworker. I have resentments or whatnot over here towards my kid or my mother. I have this thing going on over here. And now that it's Thanksgiving coming up, okay? By the time we meet again in here, we'd have already done Thanksgiving. It's a wonderful time to practice all of this. It's a wonderful time. And I'm going to invite you to do it. To get into possibility consciousness. That wherever it is that you go, or whatever it is that you're doing, or whoever it is that you're going to be around, that you start with the fundamental assumption they're spiritual beings. And beyond anything that they've done or that I know about, that God thinks more of them than I do. And what does God know that I don't? What does God see that I don't see? God loves me more than I do. What does God see in me that I'm missing? God loves the planet and all sentient beings a lot more than I do. What does God see? We start opening up to a possibility. You start opening up to a reverence. That's why I had to sing the song again earlier. I stand in awe. Because awe takes us there. Awe takes us out of just what we think that we know and we see, and makes us expand into, wow, there's so much more than I know. There's so much more than I comprehend. Things are so much bigger than I can ever imagine. And wow. Wow. Can you do that with your life? Can you do that with your family? Can you do that with your home? Can you do that with your nation? Are you willing to just live in a wow? That things are so much bigger and greater and grander than anything that you can possibly imagine. Don't just look at one little thing, look at the big things. Yes, there's a lot of divisiveness, but there is an extraordinary amount of unity. An extraordinary amount of unity. And I'm like beyond tickled pink that the first bipartisan thing this Congress has been able to do in the last couple of years just happened. Where red and blue got together. Where the Koch brothers and the ACLU agreed. And Trump's going to sign it. And you know what it's about? Prison reform. Prison reform. The unfair mandatory sentencing and the way that people have been locked up unfairly over all these drug crimes that has disproportionately affected the African American community. Who knew? But in the midst of all of this drama, and it hits a special heart to me because we do prison outreach. We're doing prison outreach for 18 years. And it's like I've been praying for this stuff. I've been praying for this. 3 strikes went down, yay. But can you see, if you don't give up, if we had stuck in the story about, the red and the blue, and they can't get together, and they can't, this wouldn't have happened. I'm saying, even in the midst, I don't care how dark it seems. I don't care what's going on. Justice will bring some strange bedfellows. Because the truth is the truth is the truth. And the truth is the truth is the truth will rise to such a point where it doesn't know color. It doesn't know partisanship. It doesn't know family. It doesn't know hierarchy. It doesn't know all that stuff. And that's why I always say there are at least 2 sides to every story, and then there's the truth. See, that's the healing. The healing is, and then there's the truth. That's possibility consciousness. And then there's the truth. There's something beyond what I think and that I know. And then there's the truth. That's all. That's all we have to do. You don't have to know what that truth is. You don't have to figure it out. We just have to hold an energetic container so that it can emerge and come through us. See, if there's an idea that's trying to rise and all of us are going, no, 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 it's impossible, it doesn't exist, then it can't manifest. But wholeness, happiness, joy, peace, I contend it is the idea whose time has come. It is the idea whose time has come. And we're just getting rid of the stuff that doesn't belong. And I'll end with this image. I was fortunate enough at around 14, 15 years old to spend almost a month in Italy. And if you've ever seen Michelangelo's statues, they're breathtaking. They look like they are alive. The statue of the David in particular. And he's attributed as this being his response when people ask him, how did he do this? How could he create these things? He said, I see it in the stone. I see it in there, and I just take away what doesn't belong. Can you feel the difference between I am starting with this blank piece of stone and I'm going to etch this and make this? No, it's already in there, and I'm just letting the excess fall away that doesn't belong. That's how it's like with us. We are the David. All that it's already in there. We just got to be willing to let the excess that's encasing our majesty fall off. But underneath, it's already perfect, whole, and complete. We don't have to fix the stone and make it something. We let that which is already in there reveal. Reveal. Just to reveal. So as you look at your life, as you look around you, as you look at whatever, your finances, your body temple, your relationships, get off of this is fundamentally broken and I need something to come in and rescue me. To there's something within that is healed, that is whole, that is good, that is pure. Let me affirm it. Let me see it. And let me pray for its empowerment and its truest revelation And then whatever resources or support or whatever that is supposed to combine with you, it'll come from a place of empowerment. Not you as some lonely victim, but partnering with you in unleashing the majesty of who you are. Isn't that better than duct tape? Let's pray. Turning within in this moment. We let our eye be single. We let our eye be single. We see the divine in everyone and everything. The only thing that is equally present everywhere. There's not more God someplace than another place. There's not more music someplace than another place. There's not more love. There's not more energy someplace than another place. There's not more mathematics someplace than another place. It's all available equally wherever it is. And that means right where we are. Right where we are. All the love that has ever been. All of the power, all of the peace, all of the joy that has ever been, is now, and ever will be, is always accessible right where we are. Boggles the mind. So in this moment, we lift our sights high. And we say, thank you. Thank you. No matter how meager, whatever it is, it seems to be that we have, we bless it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In this moment right now, we open up wide. Create in us a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within us. Open our time-blinded eyes so that we see the glorious possibilities. We say yes. Yes, beyond any human understanding. The peace that passeth all human understanding is upon us. Like the song says, this joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, so the world can't take it away. I say thank you. Thank you for showing up as all needs met. Those financial situations being resolved in the most mysterious way. Thank you for the healing of the body temple, for the activation of our chi energy. Thank you for the healing of our body politic, our entire body of affairs. Thank you for the generosity of the heart that allows us to participate in beloved community. Thank you for doors of opportunity opening that we didn't even know were there to be knocked on. We say thank you for clarity in the midst of our confusion. The calm is in the eye of the storm. We call it forth. We give thanks for the guidance, for the direction, for right action and divine right activity having its sway. We lay ourselves upon the altar, all of it, letting the alchemy of the divine transform all of it. Every test is a testimony. Every trial, every tribulation is a triumph in the making. We claim the victory. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for blessing this spiritual community. We We speak a special word for the Pachamama, for Gaia, Mother Earth, for her healing, for the floods, for the fires, for all manner of things that are taking place upon the earth. That every soul be saved, cared and provided for. Renewal and restraint is the order of the day. Thank you for all needs met. Where we live in life from the overflow. Because you are a God of sufficiency and enoughness. We release this word. We allow it to be. And so it is.